Hi everyone, my name's Jenny. I'm a British English teacher and today I have another phrasal verb lesson for you. In today's lesson we are going to look at phrasal verbs that can be used to talk about crime and punishment. And our first phrasal verb today is crack down on. And this means to start dealing with something illegal in a stricter way. So maybe before it wasn't being taken as seriously as it is now. For example, the government has decided to crack down on antisocial behaviour in an attempt to reduce crime in the area. As a result, fines for antisocial behaviour will be doubled. Phrasal verb number 2 is to lock somebody up, and this means to send somebody to prison. For example, the judge locked him up for 2 years after he was convicted of tax fraud. Number 3 is similar in meaning. It is to send somebody down, and it also means to send somebody to prison. For example, they were sent down for armed robbery. Number 4 is to phase out, and if you phase something out, you gradually reduce the use of something or you gradually stop doing something. For example, archaic planning laws are gradually being phased out. So as time goes on, these laws are being used or are being applied less and less. Number 5 is to get away with something, and this means to avoid punishment for something. I have no idea how she got away with it. There was so much evidence against her. The next phrasal verb is to get away. So the previous phrasal verb was to get away with something. This is to get away, and this means to escape. So the thieves managed to get away before the police even arrived. One note here, although getaway is a phrasal verb, it is also a noun. Or we can say it was an incredibly dramatic getaway. Break in is our next phrasal verb, which, like a getaway, is also a noun. So you can have a break-in, you can suffer a break-in. If you break in, you enter a building illegally. For example, have you heard that burglars broke into the neighbour's house last week? Number 8 is to run away or to run off. And these two phrasal verbs have the same meaning. They mean to leave suddenly and quickly. For example, when the shop assistant caught the thieves shoplifting, they quickly ran away. 9 is to tip off or to tip somebody off. Again, this is another noun. And if you tip somebody off, you warn them or you tell them about something that is going to happen so that they can prevent it from happening. For example, the police were tipped off by an anonymous caller, and so they were able to catch the drug smugglers. The next phrasal verb is to turn or to hand yourself in. And this means to go to the police station voluntarily and tell them that you committed a crime. For example, the murderer handed himself in after the police found the body. 11 is to let somebody off, and this means to not punish somebody who has committed a crime or to punish them less severely. For example, he was let off with just a caution as the crime was not serious and it was his first offence. The next phrasal verb is to look into, and this means to investigate. The police are looking into the arson as potential insurance fraud. Arson is the crime of starting a fire illegally with the intention of destroying something, for example, a building. 13 is to get off, and this is to avoid punishment. For example, his excellent lawyer managed to get him off. He was acquitted of all charges. 14 is to come forward, and this is to offer help or information. For example, many witnesses came forward after the police appeal. 15 is to track somebody down, and this means to find somebody after looking for them in many different places. The police finally tracked her down, living in a remote area. Number 16 is to hold up. This is also a noun, a hold up. And to hold up means to steal from somebody using violence or using the threat of violence. For example, he was held up at gunpoint. The next phrasal verb is to make off with something, and this means to steal something. For example, she was mugged at knife point, and the muggers made off with her handbag. To mug somebody is to steal from somebody using violence or the threat of violence, the same as to hold up, which was our previous phrasal verb. Here is our last phrasal verb of the day. It is to set somebody up. And this means to make somebody seem guilty of a crime that they didn't commit. This is another phrasal verb which can be used as a noun. So we can also say, oh, it wasn't me, it was a setup. He was set up for murder by his friend. So he was sent down for many years, and while his friend got away with the murder. Those are all the phrasal verbs that I have for you today. I hope you've learned a few new ones. I guess you have. This is quite a difficult topic, as maybe it's not something we talk about every day, but it could come up in conversation. And there's a strong possibility that this topic could come up if you're planning on taking one of the English exams. Don't forget to use today's phrasal verbs in the comments section below so you can practice using them. I'll let you know if you're using them correctly, and I'll give you some feedback if you are not. That is all from me. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.